So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know some stats about what you're seeing up here on stage. It's been 8 years since a female artist, and now we have 2 female artists here, duo, that released their debut record that sold more than anybody else on the charts. And these guys, they broke Carrie Underwood's record for a debut song. That's really amazing. Platinum already for the song that debuted Girl in Country Song.
And that's y'all's platinum record, because y'all are the ones that love it.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So when you find out that stat, tell me the feeling that goes over you when you hear that.
Honestly, it's disbelief, because to hear a stat like that and know that we are a part of that changing is insane. Because obviously, as young aspiring artists, we want to make a difference that is so dramatic like that. And the fact that 5 years later, we are now here singing to you and hearing those statistics, it's amazing. So thank you guys for that.
You can clap, it's okay. It's all right. Don't be shy. It's all right. So, you know, one of the things when I was reading a lot about you as women, you talk a lot about empowerment. And you guys have come at a time when there's a lot of people talking about women on the country charts. And your song, Girl in a Country Song, touched something that everybody's kind of been discussing kind of quietly.
Right, like a big white elephant. Sorry, that's a game.
That would be the big elephant.
The big elephant in the room, that's the phrase.
So tell everybody about that. So you guys came along at a time, and you said something that everybody was talking about that nobody would say publicly. So talk about that.
I think for us, ever since we started writing music, we were always about empowering people, all genders, all ages. We always wanted to write music that was a positive thing, and I hope in this album y'all take away that every single song has a silver lining, and everyone, you know, we all go through different things, but you're never alone, and that's what the goal of the record. But with Girl in a Country Song, the goal was to bring attention to how ridiculous the stereotype was in country music. I mean, we were, you know, songwriters for, I guess, 4 years at the time, last St. Patrick's Day, and for like 3 months we kept going in the studio, and we were like, I just heard this song, and if this guy ever talked to me like that, I would slap him right across the face, like, move your money maker, like, excuse me? It's like, what has happened to the world? So we were like, how in the world are these guys getting away with saying these kinds of things to women? Because I know most guys would never say that. So we wanted to kind of throw a curveball and share a different perspective and kind of stand up for the other, you know, the other character in the story, who's supposed to be this perfect Barbie doll. She's just supposed to sit there and look beautiful and be perfect and doesn't get a voice. And so we were like so irritated with that, and we wrote this song because we weren't artists, we were just songwriters at the time, and we were like, oh, no one's gonna hear this, we can just write it however honest we want to. And then we turned it in to our publishing team, and then Dot Records was just launching, and they needed a new act.
It was 3 months later when it was released to iTunes and country radio.
So
3 months.
We had to thank our team at Big Machine Music, and Chris Stacy, where are you? You're somewhere over here, but yes, and Chris Lamb and our regional for working their butts off to get this song to you guys. But it was so nice to have a new perspective. It was awesome that you guys related to it, because we thought we were the only ones that felt that way. Little did we know, we weren't the only ones that didn't want to be
a million subs later.
I know.
I don't think we're the only ones. Thank y'all so much.
So is there a particular line in a song that irked you in the last 5 years that inspired that?
It was slide your little fine booty over here.
Yeah, and the thing is, we love Chase Rice too, but that line, brother, come on.
It's honestly, it's not the artist, it's the trend, and not just one person was doing it. Everyone was doing it. I get it. They just wanted to make music that it was the thing at the time, but it was annoying. And as for us, we just wanted something different. I know you guys wanted the same thing. The same thing can get old very, very fast. So, threw a curveball.
Yeah.
So which led you to start here, which is why we're sitting here today at Prospector. So talk about this a little bit. So it seems to be that there is a kind of a thread from the first song to the last song, which you just performed, The Downside of Growing Up. Like, so you're waiting on an airplane for your life to start, and then you realize that, holy cow, I'm an adult and we're making business decisions. There's a thread through all these songs. Can you help us weave that?
Yeah, it's just truthful, honest music, and We made this record almost in like chronological order of how the past 5 years has gone for us, and it starts with a song called Waiting on a Plane that's basically about taking off, getting out of town, and chasing your dreams, and chasing that, taking that leap of faith to do what you love, and it ends with the song that we just played. So it's almost, in every single song, it's crazy. We put it in sequential order for a reason. It's almost like our journal entries, the past 5 years, and it's like a little Maddie Tae storybook, chapter 1.
What's the most personal song on here? I know you said you both had a favorite one because you introduced it and played it.
I would say the most vulnerable, raw song on this record is a song called After the Storm Blows Through. And it's basically a song about one of Maddie's hometown friends. Her dad had passed away very unexpectedly, and we went into a songwriting session and just wrote about it. Very honest, the way we always write songs, and that's exactly how we wanted the production and everything about the song to be. I think there's maybe like a total of 4 or 5 instruments on the song total because we wanted it to sound as vulnerable as the lyrics were, and I think we did pretty well at that. But it's definitely a song that we sing and still get choked up while singing it, and we have a lot of people come up to us in our meet and greets and say, man, I just lost my son, this really helped me through that, or I'm going through a divorce, that helped me through that. So it's really cool that one instance can relate to so many stories.
Also, Sierra is one that I was like,
no, that's very true.
I don't know if I want that released, but the fact that people have related to it as much as they have just gives it, it just makes sense. But at first I was like, I'm like telling my whole bullying story is out into the world, and Sierra knows about it, and I'm like, oh gosh. So, but it's still cool that people relate to it.
Yeah.
It's amazing the schedule that these ladies have had. We were talking with Chris before about what's happened in the past 7 to 10 days for these 2 ladies, and it's amazing that you're here and awake and you're not in the limousine sleeping.
I did not take a limousine. It's a van.
Oh, with a van.
I wish it was a limo.
Well, it's a Mercedes, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Mercedes
some
van.
nice thing that I can curl up in a ball and take a nap. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, let's talk about the 2 of you individually, because you were talking about that everybody thinks you look alike and you're together, but you're just 2 distinct personalities. I saw a picture of you sleeping in the Steeler locker room. Tell that story.
My spirit animal is a cat, for real. I am like a cat. I can sleep anywhere. I'm just chill and go with the flow kind of person. And so yeah, we were, where were we? You probably know.
Pittsburgh.
We were in Pittsburgh, and I was so exhausted this day. It was another day on radio tour, which was so much fun because we met a lot of you guys, but very, very tiring. And so I had like 15 minutes before showtime, and I curled up in a locker room, or in a locker, and I had my head like resting on a corner, like no pillow or anything. All I had was a blanket, and I fell asleep for like 15 minutes.
It's a glamorous life we lead.
Yes, absolutely.
And Maddie, there's talk about you're always ready to play, you're always ready to write a song. Hey, that's a song, let's write that right now. I'm gonna sleep. We're writing.
I think that's why it's kicking me in the butt today, because I always feel like I'm missing out on something. I think ever since I was little, my mom had to fight me on naps because I always felt like I was gonna miss out on something fun. And so it was funny, the other day we woke up at 4 and then went till midnight on the Dirks tour, and did the same thing the day before. And so, but he was having a jam session on his bus, and I couldn't miss that. So I was like,
guys.
I'm gonna get 4 hours of sleep for the next couple of days. I know I'm gonna do that, but I can't miss out on that cool stuff. It's just, I'd rather be exhausted and get to experience those kinds of things. But it kicks me in the butt like today. I'm just like,
So this is investment right here in their career and in their musical lives, and in the faith that their record label put into them as artists to sell records. And of course, if you got a platinum artist, they're doing their job, and it's very, very evident by the schedule and the lives that they lead. So this is a great moment for all of us. We really appreciate you guys being here.
Bella.
Hi, Bella. Bella wants to know how you think of the words for your songs.
Oh, how we think of specific, well, honestly, our songs just come from life inspirations, and whatever we're feeling, it comes out, and sometimes it's too honest. That's pretty obvious with our music, but yeah, just our lyrics is what we're going through.
It's weird, for me, I'm like a melody person, so I kind of think of, I start humming the melody, and then you kind of just hear random words, and they just come out, and then you make it make sense to whatever
and you have to make it rhyme, which is also very confusing.
Oh yeah, but if you have a subject, say I want to write about whatever, then you kind of focus on that and try to make the words make sense. It's a really weird process.
Yeah.
We were writing earlier, we were sound checking by accident 2 different songs, so.
At once.
Yeah, at once. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird.
Susan Haas, where are you? Oh, Susan's all the way over there.
Hey!
Hi, Susan.
See ya.
Whose music do you listen to when you're not playing your own?
Leanne Womack,
Yes.
of course. Vince Gill, yes.
The new Casey record.
Casey Musgraves. Oh gosh, there's so many.
Jerks.
I'm a big John Mayer fan, like
Yeah.
the songwriting aspect of him. I think.
Yes.
I don't know how nice he is of a person, but his music is great.
Justin Timberlake.
Yes, Justin Timberlake. It's kind of like a wide range, but we do love that, the trio with Linda Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, and Emmylou Lou. We listen to that record a lot, or I've been digging into that because we like to play some old school country songs and just
Great
kind of mix it up a
harmonies,
little. So, yeah, we're kind of old souls when it comes to music.
Well, tell everybody how you guys first met in that first moment. That's Terry's question.
Thank you, Terry. Do you want to take this one, Terry, or you want me to? You're so good at this one. Literally, this is the designated Maddie question.
I know, because
How'd you guys meet?
all the time. But it's a cool story. It's fun to tell. So 5 years ago, there's this website called eHarmony. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. Just making sure you guys are awake still. But we met in Dallas, Texas. We just both were performing at the same place on the same night. We were both, I was 4 hours away from Dallas. She's 2 hours. And there was this place where you could, it was like open mic night, and you could go, play covers, play originals, whatever you wanted. So we just happened to be there on the same night and hit it off after both of us performed. And then we started writing songs together shortly after, and the songwriting is really, really what kicked it off for us, and was the point where we were like, okay, we've got to be a duo. I do not want to do this by myself when someone is this awesome that I can do this with.
You want to hear one more song? You got time for one more? Maddie Tae, ladies and gentlemen.